Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 2 here with Lithuania and Europa Universalis 5. I was kind of got distracted there by we've got the bishopric of Riga Litanai. Was it the horse population boom? A horse is best but as a cavalry bat at the age of 3 or 4. Fortunately for us, over the last few years, we've had an above average amount of horses born. This increase in supply has made the recruitment of cavalry men much cheaper. Well, we don't have a sergeantry to trade any men, so, there's that. The Bryanskian, I don't care. Independence movement. So we have our own independence movement or rebels, the removing zealots, although they are going down by negative 0.04%. I wonder if that's because the priesthood is now happy. We do have 38.84% people in the Kaunas district who are now Catholic after our forced conversion at the hands of the Teutonic Order, after we were defeated by them. Maybe we could have survived for a few more years and really struggled it out, but the way we were losing money and manpower, didn't have any regiments, didn't no longer have the ability to hire any mercenaries. I don't think that was going to happen, right? Us defeating them. So we are now Catholic. We also have 50.95% in Suwalki in terms of control. And heir for Bohemia. The Zenat of Bohemia has convinced Grand Prince Jerzy II, the false Piast, to proclaim Dimitro Denkos as candidate to succession. With our family connection to Grand Prince Jerzy II, who died today, we expect to gain significant influence in the Principality with his death. Expectations now ruined by this turn of events. If Bohemia denies us our right to inherit, we shall take it by force. Shall we, though? I don't think we shall. One, our army is slowly rebuilding, but we still have less than 2,000 men. Two, we have 14.7 ducats. And we still have a lot of devastation. Well, less devastation than I thought. Okay, but we still have devastation. Now, we are trying to build a charcoal kiln here in Punia. They are trying to build a jeweler's guild in Vilnius. As well, they being the burghers there. And then the nobility is building a expansion of the beeswax and an expansion of the sturdy grains. Those two are being built by the nobility. We clearly don't have the ability to build anything with our sad 14 ducats. Although we did get the charcoal kiln in Pudia built. We also built a fine cloth building, and the reason we did that was if you look at our goods, right? We now have a little bit of... All right, we have a tiny bit of positivity there. And we have a... What is this, copper? Yep. And we have a tiny bit of coal. Well, actually, we break it even on the coal. So I'm trying to think about it in my head, at what point do I try to increase control somewhere else and then maybe convert another province, right? Because right now we're at 40.9%. It's less than half, clearly, right, of the province. And of course, everybody we convert to Catholicism is less so who would, in theory, join the removing zealot and their rebellion. We do still have the underage heir. Just the one son, now his spouse is Orthodox. He himself is Catholic, of course, as is his son, Genemius II. Which maybe we didn't need to do because, we're a duchy, so. But I just felt like, naming him the second, since that was the. Are they really building it right again? What is it with them building it 2 times in a row? Seriously. Are they going to build the beeswax 2 times in a row then? Right. That's what it feels like. So the estates still have 44% power. Everybody's 50% or better happy currently, although a couple of the peasantry negative 0.08 and the priesthood is a negative 0.32 percentage are not happy. Right, they are losing. The burghers are stayed even, and I mean the nobility is losing happiness too. But at 0.28%, decrease from 57% overall, I think we do have a little bit of time. I don't know that I'm going to say we need 100%, right? People here to be Catholic. Obviously, the more Catholic we can make our, have more populated provinces, the better. But again, I don't think that's something that we have to have per se. Life in Vilnius as representatives of areas that are sometimes quite distant from Vilnius, many Sivas members often find that life in Vilnius during their visits is very different from what they are used to. Some find it both cramped and filthy, and many seem quite relieved when they get to go home. Oh, it's this event. This year has proven even harder than usual for the delicate sensibilities of our Sivas members to endure. The hot months have been unusually hot, the wet months unusually wet, and the cold months unusually cold. So I guess the dry months were on average. A number of Sivas members have now decided that they have had enough and have approached us asking for help to make their stay more pleasant. Dear God. We'll lose the money to support them, trying to keep it, somewhat possible that we get the. And they do agree, so we gained 5 diplomats. The Livonian Order, the Livonian Order, Principality of Bishlavel, and the Prince of Arawan all gain opinion of us. Obviously, that's not something I really wanted to have happen, but having to give them more money because now clearly our income is even more shot. We do have a lot of diplomats available though. Poland, I think we're still approving. Yes, we're still approving relations there. Approving relations there. You know what? I think we'll just try to improve relations essentially. In most of our vassal states. Because again, I mean, if we could annex all of them, that's a lot of people, it's a lot of resources, it's a lot of land. So, in terms of control, I probably want to be like 60% or better in Suwalki before we start trying to convert people. And in terms of the conversion and Countess itself, I probably would say something like a little bit over 50-50, right? Because if we go near the religion, we have 9.15% religious unity. We have no saints. We're still 57% remove in. We are 9% Catholic though, which is an increase. They have 500,000. The Orthodoxy is a little under 300,000. Right. So if we looked at the Catholic where we are Catholic, right? It is essentially right there in Kaunas. Our beeswax farm has been built. Actually, I do think trying to convert the capital region next would be good. We looked at our primary culture, right? Oxation. It's kind of a cool map. See, there's really not very many of us down here in the southeastern part of the duchy. Polatskian, there's a lot in the southern and the central. Mazovian, say, a lot more in the south. And we have a bunch of smaller cultures as well. So we're making, oh god, they're building another farm. Like, we have 8.25 sturdy grains. I don't know why you are just building. Well, wait, never mind. This is what you get. Yep. I mean, again, just doubly down on farms that were already built. Why in the hell is this taking so long? Like, I'm sorry, but like the jeweler, I mean, I know it's an industrial building compared to a farm and all that, but it seems to be taking a ridiculously amount of long time. But yeah, you can see missing RGO employees. The tanneries are essentially the most unprofitable buildings we have currently, apparently. It'll be good with Baikal, which is down here. No. It's over here. The hell did it have devastation from? I'm guessing from disease. Because we have researched the classic scholasticism, institution growth plus 20%. Based on Aristotelian logic and the writings of the early Christian fathers, scholasticism aims to spread knowledge by emphasizing religious dogmatic beliefs and traditions. Right, being the late fall, our income is going down. Also, we might be spending more, diplomatic spending, right, with our diplomats being spread out all over the place. We have hit 2,100 men in the army, so the army is slowly growing. After the disaster of the Teutonic War. How much would it cost to build a sergeantry? So we can't build a local governor's building. Now this building, the burgers are building, we actually might be able to delete because it's an urban building. I don't think, which it finally got built. I don't think we can downgrade the amount of. Now we can cancel the expansion. Well, we can't do that, okay. Cannot cancel the constructions that have been ordered by the state. So can we... So we can reduce the RGOs. Okay, so we can still reduce that. Again, gold... Yeah, guess what? Big shocker, we don't have enough of it. I tried to tell your dumb butts that we didn't have gold in Lithuania, but let's build a jeweler. Seriously. And how do we not have workers? this? So we can't use copper. Not that we have much silver either, so I guess we can't use stone or iron anymore. They are building a livestock in Novogrudok. So yeah, I mean, just building maintenance negative 1.08. Diplomatic spending fort maintenance we could decrease to try to make money. Cost of the court is pretty high. Our tax base has increased by 10 or maybe like 8. I think it was like at 35. It's now at 43.93%. And about 46% for the heir of the same state religion. Again, Countess, you know, we're getting there. Like, we're inching towards 50-50. Now, what I wish, and maybe this is what happens, although I don't think so, because we don't really tax the nobility, right? Is that these buildings that they were building, it'd be nice if we could get some kind of income back, but then again, we don't really tax the nobility, so... And since we don't make money... Dear God, we're actually losing money now. How? I'm sorry for that reaction. I am. But legitimately, how? Like, we're not spending money on food. We don't have an army or a navy. I know we can't tax them, and apparently we can't tax them either. And I get that. I do. And we're not selling food during the winter and that's a big part of our economy. So I guess I understand. But it's still frustrating, man. It's still frustrating. Oh dear God, they're building again! Stop building! Seriously. Though the priesthood is now upset. I'm upset at how much they're building. Like, it is insane. I am losing money, so I can't do crap. And I don't have money even if I wasn't losing money. God, I'm never gonna have money. Like, I am really never gonna have money. My heir could have. He's 3. But okay. He could have a better education. Well, to be fair, the control out here is probably never going to grow, apparently, because it's just at 51.13. Now, granted, our ministers are kind of crap. He is now gregarious. This child enjoys being constantly surrounded by other people and revels in the interaction with them. So, diplomatic education is the way to go, apparently. There we go. The removed sacred area in Med Inkai. Although our conversion to Catholicism has been largely successful, the Valstikai continue to hold on to their faith in their old gods. They still venerate their sacred site in Med Inkai. They refuse to acknowledge Lithuanian rule and stubbornly clinging to their ancient customs. Perhaps it is time to show them the consequence of defying Lithuania. You can burn it down. Who is this? We're not going to cause any incident, right? Now, the good news is the Teutonic Order has less of a reason to attack me because we're Catholic now, ostensibly. And we have a tiny bit more Catholic people in Countess than anywhere than not. Now, what is a little bit unfortunate is, right, we don't get any money from the selling of the food in the winter, sure. And we don't seemingly get any money because we don't tax the nobility or the burghers really that heavily from the buildings that they make. But we make something, and because we like the control of places, we don't get the full profit from it, which seems a little bit warped, but, probably somewhat accurate. Good lord, this is taking forever. February of 1342. We're inching here in Polotsk, being able to integrate them. Inching. Now, we're not going to have a road up here. And once we get to June 1341, we'll move our minister to work over here in terms of conversion. Man, we just don't make any money. Good lord, we just don't make any money. But I get it, we are definitely not one of the richest nations at the start of the game. I get that. That's what we're trying to build up to, and I don't know if we'll ever actually get there, but and we still have the Black Death to go through, so that'll be, fun. Obviously, sarcasm and in air quotes, right? But Hollich is now being occupied. A lot of these places are now being occupied by the Golden Horde, it looks like. Yes. Who? They're losing people still. Okay. So we are now going to try to convert the people of Trakai to Catholicism, which is at 2.13%, as there's almost no Catholics. Although the good news is the removing rebels have been shunned aside, so at least there's that. What the hell? Why did we just lose all of our money? Trade income's good, selling food's good. We're not buying food. And we seriously can... Well, I don't want to lose diplomats, but... Honestly, we can lose some diplomats. Because I really don't know why I just lost money. I'm looking at this. The food and trade income is good. Diplomacy 0.1, 0.94. So we're apparently getting money from that, right? We're not spending money on stability, which we probably should do. Right, but we're not spending money on food. We're not building anything as a state. And yet we lost 1.5 ducats. Almost 2 ducats of income. Because why? Negative 13.39 in the last is our balance. Oh, in the last 12 months, okay. So I'm really not understanding what that was about. Seriously. Why are you losing people? What is it? Where are you leaving to? Where are you going? Watch, they'll build something there now, but I am legitimately confused as to why I lost all the money. We did last month. Like, that just really kind of confuses me. So Turkey's got 327 burgers, so I could build something here. Well, I can't afford anything right now, but when I can, like, a tailor's guild would be the most profitable. Well, naval supplies guild, and a saltpeter, which is interesting, even though you don't really need that until you have gunpowder, I don't think. But again, why did our money go down? Trade income goes down. Okay, I can understand that. Obviously, we want to try to get the cost of court to go up. How is control going down here? Wasn't it at 51%? Oh, dear God, they're building another farm. How the game thinks, how they let the AI think this is mind-blowing. You don't have workers. You're missing 700 workers already, and you're trying to expand on it. Make that make sense. Oh. The randomness. The randomness of the building is really starting to get to me. We don't need fish. Price is even dropping for fish. We don't need it. Price is going down. The nobility's like, let's build one. I'm not an economic god. I'm probably about as far away from being an economic god as you could possibly get. I'm an economic moron myself. But even I understand the price of something is going down. You have more than what you need. You don't then turn around and build another factory for that good that you don't need and that the price is dropping. Or not factory, but whatever, right? A production chain. That doesn't make sense. But yet that's what they're doing. And this is my problem with the beta. This is my problem with the beta, is they can't manage it. Which is why I wish they would keep the production chain but get rid of how the estate's built. Because while it's historically accurate, and that is awesome, it's also historically dumb because the AI can't handle it. And you could say, oh, well, they're just trying to increase their power, control, and income. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Like I could buy that. But even then, what sense does it make to make a building that might lose money because the price is decreasing and the surplus is high? Like, also, technically, my income should be going up because my control increased by 1%, but yet it went down. My religious unity, while not good, went up. And is going. And again, what the hell happened here? How is this moron randomly losing control every other month? How is that working? Right? How are we losing control every other month? Is this the maximum control? Well, technically, the maximum control is 34.7%. I think I'm going to have to decrease the funding to the forts because we're never going to make money otherwise. We have a daughter, Monica. Monica? I mean... That seems a little too Catholic, but... Dana, there we go. So I do have a second child, so that part's nice. But I legitimately am confused here. If my crown power goes up, I'm expecting this to go down, by the way. My religious unity is getting a tiny bit better. We have now entered the age of Renaissance. Society is affected by the Pax Magolica, Islamic Golden Age, and the Renaissance in Europe are witnessing the emergence of a new era of knowledge, art, and innovation as a result of increased foreign interactions. I'm gonna say we're gonna go for a military focus. We also have possible burgers in our towns. Again, I get why we're not making money now. We're not selling food. That makes sense. It's awesome. If you want to say we're, you know, the priesthood's unhappy, so we're losing a little bit of money because of that, I can accept that. Right? And it did. My God, it did. It went down again. It's really kind of funny. I understand it might have a negative modifier because of the location and all that for the control. But damn, I have a person trying to increase the control. So if nothing else, it should... I want to like you, Beta. I do. I really do. But... Okay, we have a weather system, and common food production goes up by 25%. Well, that's good. The Golden Horde is no longer... Why? Okay, well, now they're being occupied by a lot of people. Okay. I guess... yeah, we'll do Kiev. We'll do Kiev. Fine. That's the most money we've ever made in February, I think. I swear, it's good. We're going to have to spend more money on our diplomats because we're losing negative 0.09 all the time, and we're losing prestige. Like, is there anything that's... Stability... Why? What? No, we're supposed... How are we... How is this thing so discrepant from what... From what it says. So it says we're getting plus 0.21. Here we're getting 0.01. I don't know. I don't understand that either. Technically, we're supposed... Oh my God, they built something else again. Each 1,000 pop give the estate 25 estate power. Each 1,000 pop gives the estate 100 shares of tax base. But you're not actually increasing the pops, right? They're down to 3,000 people. So, again, I've gained 2% power, but I've not. My income hasn't increased. And I'm not saying I should have made like 10 ducats. I'm just saying it hasn't increased at all. And again, I know technology and all that. Oh, of course, we did have the Baltic Crusades, right? I am a little bit flabbergasted. Milan has experienced the Renaissance. The wealthiest and most powerful citizens of the Italian city-states have been patronizing artists and scholars who are breathing new life into the classical ideals and aesthetics of their Greek and Roman forebears. As a cultural movement, the Renaissance has already had a profound impact on the literature, art, philosophy, and music of our region. Renaissance humanism has developed into a fully formed intellectual tradition ready to permeate all aspects of society. A true Renaissance humanist is an expert in everything from politics and philosophy to art, textual analysis, music, and architecture. New ideals for rulers as well as those who are ruled are spreading as quickly as printing presses can distribute copies. Renaissance ideals are now poised to reshape the world according to these sophisticated classical principles. Okay. Who's being excommunicated? Oh, orange. Okay. I mean, I'm trying to save up a little bit of money. I know I need to build something to try to improve my income and power and all that crap. But I'm trying to actually save a little bit. We have found common ground with our Teutonic neighbors and the fact that we now share the Catholic faith. I don't really care about that. I'm going to attack them at some point. Not right now, because we have... Well, our army's kind of slowly growing, but we have no money. We don't have much power. Apparently, we're losing everything. We're inching towards being able to start the annexation of Polotsk, which has 80,000 people. I feel like we should be making a little more, but okay. It's okay. We are in May of 1342. Professional armies appear in Aruna. Armies have existed since war was invented many thousands of years ago. However, their form has changed over the centuries, and different types of recruitment and organization have developed in different cultures and periods. In the late Middle Ages, armies of many societies relied on levy systems with knights and footmen forming a corps that was levied seasonally. Some states, however, were powerful enough to finance standing armies staffed by professional soldiers who would be available for duty throughout the year. This system was also developed in Europe after the outbreak of the Hundred Years' War, being one of the main changes that promoted a military revolution in the early modern age. Increasing the size and quality of professional armies while finding new sources of revenue to finance them soon became one of the main challenges for rulers around the world. As we lost money again. Somebody want to tell me why I lost money? I mean, trade, I know, right, could kick your butt. Which is really kind of interesting because We do have 200 people again. I think we need fine cloth. I'm not positive about that, but how do we not have coal? Like, we built a thing. Okay. And we also need fine cloth, silver, furniture, saffron, sugar, and. Oh, wait, now we have it. Okay. Diplomacy with Russia. The balance of power across our borders between East and West is a delicate balance. The rising power of the Grand Principality of Muscovy threatened to overshadow, the terror brought upon us by the hordes from the Far East. In order to prevent their warlike tendencies from enveloping the entire region, we should make the necessary diplomatic preparations by reaching out to their most powerful neighbors. The relationship between the Grand Duchy of Lithuania and the Russian states in the 14th and 15th centuries involved both cooperation and competition. Under leaders such as Gediminas, Algirdas, and Vytushis the Great, Lithuania expanded its territory eastward, incorporating regions of present-day Belarus and Ukraine. This brought them into frequent interaction with the Russian principalities, particularly the rising Grand Duchy of Moscow. As both powers vied for control over these lands, tensions grew. However, Lithuania also formed strategic alliances with northern Russian republics like Novgorod and Pskov, which sought to counter Moscow's expanding influence. While these partnerships helped defend against common enemies like the Tatars, the dynamic between Lithuania and Moscow remained unstable, shifting between periods of collaboration and rivalry. I'm not going to spend money on that. I'm sorry. Like, I lost the legitimacy, which isn't great, and I know that's going to impact my costs and things, but why do I want to spend money on that? Seriously. So now we're... Wait, what? How? Did we import some or something? Okay, so now we have dyes, so we're making more. Okay. I think that's what happened. I'm not sure, but I think that's what happened. A saltpeter gill plus 0.55. That looks like the most profitable building. This is 0.47. All right. Needs pottery and livestock. Producer labor intensive process. Saltpeter is vital for the production of gunpowder and thus state defense. It is extracted from nitrate-rich soils, as well as manure, decayed organic matter. 34.6 is what it's going to cost. I'd love to be able to get up to 34 point or like 69 before I did that. And I swear to God, go somewhere else. Because apparently 50% is the best we're going to get. Like, legitimately. And of course we are. What are we building now? Furs. Okay, sure. There are 3,000 of them. Income is going to go down. Oh, wait, they built something. Sorry, it's not a new month. I thought that's how bad it was a new month, but my bad. Income is about to go down, though. I know it will. Because. Yep. Oh, wait. Maybe it actually went up a little bit. All right. And Countess. All right. Oh, we do need carpentry, but. So we will make this saltpeter because even though we don't need it in theory, the saltpeter is going to create a little bit more demand for livestock and pottery, which might help in terms of, you know, those buildings and their profitability, right? In theory, right? In theory. Now, we are close. Right, we need 150 to annex somebody. Polotsk might be able to be annexed soon, or that process started anyway. Banking has appeared in Genova, or money lending has existed since metal-based coins first appeared in antiquity. However, its availability is heavily dependent on the dominant people, culture, or religion of a given state. A shift occurred in the Middle Ages, encouraged by the renewed growth of long-range commercial activities on the Eurasian continent and its peripheries. Specialized money lenders began to organize with Jewish communities, started operating between the Christian Muslim worlds. However, the boom of credit demand that followed the Crusades in the 12th century encouraged merchants in the Italian city-states to create larger structures for money lending, effectively founding the first banking institutions such as the Perusian Barney houses. More instruments were developed, like bills of exchange and debt bonds, and banking dynasties such as the de Medici, Fugue, or Welser soon became as powerful as states. What the hell? We're making 6.91 ducats. Whoa, wait, what? Is it just because we have more control now? I mean, I get that does make sense, but... And my army also jumped. But man, this is just like... It's just frustrating at the same time, dude. We do have about 24.5% Catholics now in Turkey. So for our 10.85% religious unity. This is going to take a very long time, right, for the religious conversions. Our income is doing very well. I don't want to, knock on wood or anything. Again, obviously control is a big deal. We don't have the money to build roads, right? Like if we wanted to build a road, just well, there's already a road there. Like that's 125. Like all right, we don't have the workers there. We've got workers here. 5.95 legumes. Livestock is very cheap. Clay, they've built a ton of. Fur, we have a crazy amount of. Okay, beeswax they built, right? That lumber, we have a lot of. We do not have enough gold in the market to build a royal court. Oh, that would only cost 34.26. Interesting. They're expanding the salt again. Okay, there we go. We have finally hit 150 in Polotsk. Okay, lumber. And that's where we built the coal. And this is sturdy grain, which price is going down. Okay. What is the need for charcoal in the market? Legumes, wheat, and okay, what's wheat? Price is going up a little bit. 0.29 tax base per level. Stud farm. Wheat, horses. Okay, so at 152, they're building a saltpeter. So we can start an annexation. Monthly diplomats negative 1.0. Monthly legitimacy negative 0.02. I'll take it till 1358. But we will start the annexation of them. Charcoal kiln will be plus 0.27. Just because land of commerce and the burger state satisfaction and the average literacy. I mean, technically, by producing more food, I would think you would. All right, so we are going to expand that RGO. I mean, it said it gave us the best profit, right? That's what it said. It said it was going to give us the best profit for it, back. So that's what we did. But anyway, we are here at 1343. We will wrap up the episode there. Thank you for everybody for watching and listening to me drone on. I would love to be able to, start investing into our forts and whatnot. Good news is we are starting to annex one of our vassals. That should help us with the diplomatic, costs and everything else. What do we have here? We still have people who need things. Jewelers Guild, right? Cultural, still using too much cultural. Okay, well, we do have a couple buildings that the crown itself did, or the Duke. We have a daughter. We're trying to annex a vassal. We've researched a few technologies. We have made a little bit of money because we're not spending any money on our fortifications. And hey, there we go. Peasant connections. Cost of purchasing food, negative 10%. Our merchants have established connections to the rural settlements within beyond our borders. As a result, they are able to secure better prices for food than otherwise would be expected. Now, we're not buying food. Now, it'd be nice if we could sell food at a higher price, right? But anyways, thank you, everybody. Take care, and I will talk to y'all later.